screen for some slides as we get started. But I'm so excited for those of you that could make it today. Thanks for being flexible. I know it's Easter weekend and you're probably doing lots of celebrating and fun stuff with family or friends. But we wanted to take this time quick to go over some exciting things from leadership and also extend an invitation for something we're going to be doing as a community. We'll go into the details in a second. But before we go into all that, I wanted to start by celebrating the LDC. And obviously, you guys know there's always not like there. I wish there were so many other easy ways to celebrate the little victories that happen behind the scenes, or maybe happen in that text message conversation you're having with a customer of yours, or like getting somebody on LRP. That is, I wish there was a way I could track all of your work in that, because that's really where we're changing lives. But this is the easiest way. We can easily track things. And so this gives you an idea. In February and March, we helped 136 families get started with doTERRA. And our top enrollers in February were Donegal and Jessa Vandenberg with 5, Karen Marcus, Amber Byers, Samantha Autumn, Rebecca Christian, Morgan Jameson with 3. And then in March, our top enrollers were Emily Paulson, Tamara Flores, Morgan Jameson with 5, Courtney Harkema with 4, Michelle O'Connor, Jess Vandenberg, and Abby Harris with 3. So way to go, y'all. Super excited for you. What was the other thing I was going to say? Just as a reminder, again, I've been kind of tweaking my systems, and I am now doing specific text messages for business related things for anybody that wants them. So if you're not getting those messages and you want to be, please message me and I'll make sure you're getting those, because we have Oil Camp that will be running starting next Monday. And that's a free program for anybody that's been getting started with doTERRA. It's a great way for them to learn more about how to use their oils and also learn about the loyalty program. And it just really is such a great program to help educate the people that you're teaching about doTERRA. And like I said, we start that this upcoming Monday. So it's actually Easter Monday, it will be starting. And if you want to invite somebody to it, we have the registration link and all those details as well. So before we go into nitty-gritty details, I wanted to share some of the vision that doTERRA shared with us at leadership. And they've been talking about this a lot lately, and I just think it's so powerful. And I will say that, like, personally, for Tyler and I, we definitely are in alignment with where doTERRA wants to go. And we see this as something that we want to link arms with them and make this our goal as well. So they shared with us, number one, what the impact has been through doTERRA in 2022. And you guys know, if you're here on this call, you know that the heart of doTERRA is so different than other companies. Obviously there's some companies that are like this, but it's very rare. doTERRA, we don't just care about the bottom line and the business end of things. It's really how the business is therefore changing lives, whether it's the oils impacting people, the financial income impacting wellness advocates, the people at corporate, and then all the way to the behind the scenes glimpse of how the oils are being sourced. Actually, Danny, would you be willing to share even just something briefly from your experience? I just feel like it's really incredible that you got to be a part of that. Maybe you can share with everybody what you did.
Sure. So I don't even know what day. It's Saturday. This last week, I was in Pennsylvania. doTERRA is now able to sustainably source on a commercial scale birch oil, which in the past, if you've ever had birch oil, it's only been at convention in the box, which we didn't get it last year or the year before. But if you've been at convention in previous years, I think I have maybe 2 bottles of birch that I've just been holding on to, and I barely ever use it. And so it's taken doTERRA 7 years to figure out how to source birch properly, and then again on a commercial scale, so that we have enough birch to give on a consistent basis. And so we were in Pennsylvania, and they're sourcing in this town called Kent, Pennsylvania, which no one knows where that is. It's just a small little town. But a few things that stood out was I was just thinking while Kristen was talking, sorry. So Kent is a really small town. And normally when I think about doTERRA's sourcing, I think about like third world countries and more like poverty stricken areas that we are helping the people on the other sides of the bottle. But I feel like in Kent, Pennsylvania, it was like everyone in that town, like every part of the sourcing project was people from that community. And so it's not only bringing people from that community, you know, closer together and building up that community, and like even thinking about tripling the impact in that community specifically. The mayor was there was just like a ton of people in the town that came to just support doTERRA on the sourcing side and what we will potentially do for their town specifically, not only just for like the facility that we've created and stuff. So that was really cool to see. And this is like more than just the sourcing portion, I guess, but Corey Lindley was there with his wife, and there were some other executives, and it was a really short trip, but it was amazing. We had like an opening dinner and then the sourcing portion, where we got to go see the new distillery and learn how birch was distilled, which is a little bit different than other oils, and you'll hear more about that, I'm sure soon when they're going to announce birch like officially and stuff. And Emily Wright has posted some things too. But anyways, our closing dinner, Corey was just speaking from his heart, which I guess he always does. He's just like a male and way different than Emily Wright, you know. And it was a smaller group, so he was basically just saying like, you know, since we're in a smaller setting, I just want to bring this to light. And I don't normally say these types of things, but I just want to say that, oh, it's going to bring me to tears. But even for us on this call this morning, he just said, we're all here for a higher purpose and because of a higher power that has brought us here. And even if you're here in this space and you don't know why, or why you're still hanging around, maybe you haven't been active in doTERRA, or maybe you are active in doTERRA, you're here because a higher power has brought you here for a reason. And we're all on this team for a specific reason and with each other. I just get emotional every time I talk about this stuff. But anyway, it was just such a good reminder, and that he had the, I don't know, conviction to just speak that way a little bit more in a smaller group setting. And so anyways, you guys just know that you're here for a bigger reason, a bigger purpose. And I think we were all brought together specifically on this team together to support each other for a higher purpose, a bigger purpose, and what we're talking about right now of tripling our impact for everyone's lives. And he just kept saying over and over, like, we are not in the business of selling oils. We're here to help someone and change someone's life and, you know, sit with them knee to knee and touch their hand and change a specific person's life. Anyways, that's my whole spiel, but it was a really great trip. And all of you guys should at some point have the opportunity to go on a trip like this. I won it through Diamond Club. So if you ever have the chance to do Diamond Club, I highly recommend that. Yeah. And you just have to get top 100 to go on a trip, which I don't know if they're going to change in the future, but you can also now apply to go on sourcing trips. Yeah. So if you have the gut feeling that you need to go on a sourcing trip, whether it's in the United States or a third world country or Kenya or somewhere else, I think you should definitely go. And yeah, you all have a chance and opportunity to go. So, well, it's too early for this, Kristen.
Thank you so much for sharing, Danny. That's like invaluable that you get to share your experience, and so powerful. And it's exactly what I wanted to talk about with this is like doTERRA. It proves the point of what I was saying is like doTERRA is a company that cares about so much more than just the bottom line. And so this screen you see here shares about our impact in 2022, but doTERRA's goal is to triple our impact by 2030. And there's a variety of metrics that they're using for that. But a part of that, of course, is they want to triple the impact they're having around the globe through our sourcing partnerships and people like Danny's talking about that she met with the birch farmers in Pennsylvania. We also got to meet with some of our friends that are like Crossline in doTERRA, they're Blue Diamonds, and they went to Kenya and they shared with us about their trip to Kenya. It's just, it's truly so incredible what doTERRA is doing. And Tyler and I, our goal with our team, the LDC, is that we would triple our impact. And for us as wellness advocates, that looks like, for me, I'm committing to sell more oils because I know the impact that it will make on the other side of the bottle for the people producing those oils. And I also know how it will change the lives of my customers. And I'll just very briefly give an example. I recently got a text from a brand new customer here in the UK, and she used her On-Card for a sore throat and she never got sick. And then she used DigestZen for her daughter who was having tummy troubles, and it took care of it right away. We all know those like immediate success stories are the best, right? So that was really fun. And then I also talked to one of she was probably like one of my first 30 customers. Like she's one of my best friends. She lives in South Dakota still, and she used her oils for something new. She used them for hand, foot, and mouth, and she was just shocked at how like one of her children had it. She like pretty much stopped it in its tracks, and none of the rest of her girls got it. And it's stories like that, that make what we do so worth it. So anyways, just briefly, you guys probably already know about the promotions, but one thing I'll share is Palmarosa, if you did not know, is actually in the Virage toner already. It's also in the Clary Calm blend. So that tells us a little bit about Palmarosa. And then it's also in the Yarrow Palm capsules, the soft gels. So Palmarosa is obviously really great for skin health. And that's what I plan on using mine for, I've been making a glow serum. I've shared the recipe before, but it's like Yarrow Palm, Blue Tansy, and Copaiba and frankincense, and I'm going to add some of my Palmarosa to that, and I'm also probably going to use it in some baths. I've been loving Spanish sage, and obviously you all know my obsession with citrus bloom. Unfortunately, I just have 6 bottles left because I stocked up on it when it was like going to disappear. And then the blooming trio, one thing I wanted to highlight about it is Melissa tipped me off to this combo. If you are lucky enough to have some gardenia from the convention kit, you might have it already. Take your gardenia and layer it with the new passion, because the vanilla is updated, use the new passion and use them as a perfume together. It's so good. So just a couple tips for you based on the promotions. This blooming trio is only available for a limited time because it's a Mother's Day special. And then Spanish sage will be a permanent product now. If any of you guys have any favorite uses for Palmarosa, Spanish sage, the blooming trio, any of those, I would love for you to share them in the chat. And then citrus bloom, that will now be in our diffusers here all the time at the Tigges house. But anyways, so now we're going to dive into some of the things that they covered at leadership. And these are really, really exciting. But before I go into detail about them, I thought I would share something just for like a little comedic relief. People laughing at the social selling business model, realizing half the products they buy are because someone told them to. Okay, so who's with me? Think of some of the most recent things that you have bought. Just for a second, humor me. Think about some of those things. I recently purchased some air filters for our bedrooms. I asked some people before I bought those, and I wanted to know what other people thought of certain brands and what they liked best. And I asked people in the UK and I asked people in the US. And anyways, you guys can see that it has and it always will be a way that things are sold is through word of mouth and through referrals. But I think all of us on this call, you can share your experience in the chat, have all been in that moment where somebody's like, oh, how do I get a lavender from you? And we're like, oh, no. This is my least favorite conversation, at least for the relationship builders. This is like my least favorite. Anyways, you definitely have to like work on how you're going to explain that, right? If somebody says they just want a lavender, that's all they're saying they want. It has to be then, well, doTERRA is a membership, and if you pay $35, then you get the discount, or if you get like this whole kit, then you can get lavender and you get the discount. Anyways, it becomes this whole conversation, right? And on the LDC, I'm like so proud of our community. Like all of you guys are great at educating people about that. I feel like we've crushed it. We've made the best of it. But the first exciting thing from leadership that they announced is now when you enroll people, specifically when somebody wants to enroll with doTERRA and they are connected to you, if they put your wellness ID in, or they use your link, or maybe you go on the back office and you enroll them directly with your link, they will get that first year waived for their enrollment, and they will no longer have to pay that enrollment fee. Pretty exciting, huh? I'll talk more details about that in a second, but that's the first big bold move. The second thing is doTERRA has now created a refer a friend program. And what that means is doTERRA knows there are people out there that don't want to build a business. They don't want to build a team. They just want to help people get oils here and there, and they want to pay for their products. And that's what the refer a friend is for. And then the third move that they announced is an affiliate program. And we're actually not going to talk about that today because it's not launching yet. They kind of just like explained it all, and there'll be more details coming. So I didn't need to crowd our brain space today. We're going to save it for more important things. So the waived enrollment fee, I want to explain this a little bit more. So now so there's no longer a $35, I don't know why that says $25, but there's no longer a $35 fee if they enroll through your link, or if they do the refer a friend program and they enroll through a friend directly, or if they essentially, you guys get the idea. If they are connected to somebody directly in doTERRA and they enroll through them, they don't have to pay the enrollment fee anymore. Number two, when they enroll, there's no minimum order requirement. And I'm going to explain to you why you still probably don't want people just buying one oil to enroll. That's still not the best for them or for you. But sometimes there's a time and place where sometimes that is best for people, and now we won't be limited by that. doTERRA strategically decided to make all these changes because they wanted to decrease the barrier for people to start using doTERRA. They wanted to make it easier, and they realized that membership programs or membership companies are no longer a thing. Really, the only ones out there now are like Costco and Amazon. That's it. So anyways, this waived enrollment fee is available just in the US and Canada. So even here in the UK, I'm still operating the same as normal for people here. But for in the US and Canada, if people enroll, they don't have to pay that $35 fee. This is only for new members. So there still is a reactivation fee. If you decide you want to keep your membership, you still pay $25 and get a free peppermint. There is talk about them modifying things like that and giving people options, it not always being a free peppermint, but for now, everything's the same. And then there also are strategic levels of freebies they can get as a new member. And so this is a little graphic that Danny had made here on the side that you can see. So for April, an example is if somebody enrolls with a 100 PV order, they don't have to pay the $35 fee, but they can get free shipping if they order 100 PV. And then if they order 150, they get a diffuser, this Pebble diffuser for free, and they get free shipping. And then if they order with, so then layered on top of that is right now, Diamond Club is going on. Diamond Club started in March. So it's March, April, May, June, right, Danny, are the months of Diamond Club?
It's just 3 months. So I think this is the last month.
Oh,
okay. February, March, April.
Okay, thanks. So, Danny Harris is in Diamond Club, and then also Emily Paulson is in Diamond Club, and both of them have a specific promotion code. Do you want to quick share about it, Danny?
Sure. Chris Boltice as well. I believe she's still in Diamond Club. So if you are underneath their team, or maybe like in their direct cross line, like for Emily Paulson on Melissa's team, I would highly recommend you reach out to the person that is closest to you as far as team wise, just because it might make more sense locally if you can do a Zoom call with them or meet in person. But basically what this code offers you is these extra additional freebies to give to your customers. And sometimes it's really helpful if they're placing a 100 PV order, you can say, oh, well, at 150 PV, you'll get this, or if you want to add 2 more items, you'll get all these things for free. So sometimes it's just easier to present it this way to rack up their order a little bit more. So everyone's doing it a little bit different in Diamond Club, but basically the goal is that I am or myself, Emily, or Chris, whoever you're reaching out to, is helping you educate your customer so that they can get these additional freebies. I do have a video that you can send to them that takes it off your shoulders a little bit to explain the additional freebies if they want to up their purchases in their cart. And so it's coming from your friend, me, instead of directly from you. And sometimes that helps. But anyways, I'll add my code in the chat, but please make sure that once they enroll, you screenshot their email, the email that you get, and send it to me so that I can log it in my Diamond Club portal. Because on our end, we have to log it in order for them to receive all of the extra freebies. And I have to have some sort of communication or contact with them. So you can always add me into a group text message if you need me on a call, or if you want me to teach a class for you. I'm more than willing to do that for you. So please just be in touch. I'll put my cell phone number here too if you need to reach out to me for anything else.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. So essentially, when people are enrolling, there are still so many great freebies they can get if they specifically order 100 PV, 150, or 200. You can see, like, I'm like, just amazing freebies, obviously. Of course, when you are helping people maximize these promos, you're also going to be getting paid more. So that fast start bonus that we all get is for the first 60 days, we get paid 20%. And we also know strategically, if people get more on that first order, that's when they're the most excited typically. And then it's going to be easier for you to help them use those oils consistently and start seeing results in their life. So the second bold move that we're going to talk about is doTERRA's Refer a Friend. And before I go into even more detail with this, I'm just going to share a great little video. Sorry, guys. Okay. So this is actually from doTERRA's marketing kit. We all have access to this, but I just think it's such a great little video, and I wanted to show it with you guys because this is also an easy link that you can just send to somebody so they can learn about it.
That's what I'm talking about. Wait. Okay, now, from the beginning.
Get it, boy.
We lost sound, but the visuals are still great.
So well done. And I'm going to share one more video right away because I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, if somebody wants to do the Refer a Friend program, how do they find their referral link to share with people? So this video covers that. Really good stuff, huh? It seems to be like pretty seamless how they've put everything in place. But I will tell you, so this program, the Refer a Friend program, doTERRA actually tested. They tested it with different wellness advocates teams throughout doTERRA, and what they found was when someone was just emailed from doTERRA and told that like, hey, you can refer a friend and get doTERRA dollars, those people did nothing. They didn't refer friends. They didn't use the program at all. But when there was a wellness advocate teaching their customers that they could refer a friend and get doTERRA dollars from it, then this program was massively successful. And because what they've found statistically speaking from surveying people is that wholesale customers, 75% of them talk to friends and family about doTERRA. 75%. So this program is really just like an ideal way to help people share with their friends and family in a really seamless way, because remember, there's no $35 fee anymore. Like they can literally help their friend get 1, 2, 3, 4 products from doTERRA. And then that person can buy doTERRA directly through their friends. So a wholesale customer, I want you guys all to think through this example as you are working with your wholesale customer. So your wholesale customer that you enrolled now has a link that they can use to share with friends. And when their friend buys doTERRA through the link with no enrollment fee and at wholesale prices, that wholesale customer is going to get, your wholesale customer is going to get 20% in doTERRA dollars added to their account to be able to use for those products. So doTERRA dollars are actually different than product points. They are straight up dollars. So these dollars can be used to cover shipping. They can be used to cover like anything they want it to. It's literally like a gift card that can be used for free stuff. And then those referrals, so your wholesale customer referred somebody and that referral is now listed as an enrollment of you. You actually show up as that person's enroller, because remember, your wholesale customer doesn't want to do the business and they don't want to be in charge of following up with somebody and telling them about our Facebook group or telling them about continuing education, all that kind of stuff. So then you, as a wellness advocate, get to decide where you want to sponsor that customer in your organization before the 10th of the following month. And so I will say, you can see how the Refer a Friend, you definitely want to make sure this program is for somebody that is not interested in the business. Because if they're interested in the business, they're probably going to want their friends to be underneath them always. So just make sure to have that clear conversation. But I think this is going to be a brilliant, brilliant program for so many people. So then you can see this graphic on the side. This kind of explains the payout for those of you that are numbers people. So the initial wholesale customer is the one that's going to get, let me make sure I'm explaining this right. Okay. The wholesale customer, the one that's referring somebody, is going to get 20% in doTERRA dollars, right? You still get your normal 10% of Fast Start, and the person above that gets 5%. But then later, not on the enrollment order, any other orders within the first 60 days, you, remember, are listed as that person's enroller, and you are actually the one that's going to get paid on the orders. So if you do a good job and work with your wholesale customer to get connected to the person that they referred, and you help educate them, and that person decides to join LRP or order more products, you're going to get paid the 20% on those future orders. So if any of you guys have questions, please add them in the chat. We can go through those at the end of this call, but I just want to make sure if anything isn't clear, that we can go through it here. So then wholesale customers are going to get an email every time somebody uses their referral link. And then for us as wellness advocates, our dashboard will in the future have a new report under the quick reports section of the dashboard. So when you go to your dashboard, like literally the dashboard tab, down on the bottom right, there's a spot that says quick reports, and there's a drop down menu. And I looked if that was populating in mine. I didn't see it today, but it should be coming early April is what they said. So I'm assuming it will be coming really soon. And then that will show us a list of people that have referred a friend. So we can quickly access and know how to educate and support those new people that have been referred into doTERRA and don't have connections to things like the LDC Facebook page or Oil Camp, all those sorts of things. So some other quick exciting things are we now have a wish list feature. Did anybody see that on your back office? When you click on the profile on the top, now you have a wish list feature. So a wish list feature is like, if you haven't used this from a different company, it's essentially like, I'm buying this now, but I don't want to forget that I want to buy this later. So it's a way that you can heart a product and it will save it there so you remember to add it to future orders. You'll definitely want to check that out. It's a really, really exciting feature. It's been requested for a long time. We're so excited that doTERRA added it. You can now sign up for direct deposit online instead of having to mail in a voided check. Who of you are still getting checks in the mail? I'm partially just curious, like how many people are still doing that. But anyways, yeah, if you want to sign up for direct deposit, you can do it online, and for future wellness advocates on their team, that will be a lot easier. Number 3, a new daily mineral sunscreen moisturizer is coming this spring. Super excited about it. You can see the details about it over here. It's going to be SPF of 28, and it will have frankincense, helichrysum, magnolia, ylang ylang, and lemongrass in it. And it doesn't just shield from the sun. It actually helps to shield our skin from the negative effects that we get from blue light on like our computers and on our phones and our TVs. Did you guys know that there's actually like light that's emitted and it damages our skin? Pretty crazy. So this will help shield against that. And obviously it's incredibly clean and has none of the nasties in it. And then the other exciting thing is doTERRA created a rose duet. So this is a rose hydrosol mist. And this is like the first ever rose mist that was made entirely from products from one of doTERRA's distilleries in Bulgaria. They said that most rose mists have a preservative in them because they have to, but rose oil itself, or like the rose plant, has like a natural preservative in it. And because of the way that they distilled it, they were able to like keep that natural preservative in there. And so this doesn't have the synthetic version. It has like the naturally occurring preservative in it, which is so cool. And then they also have this moringa rose oil. And they're going to both be for skin, but anyways, that's coming out June 1st. And for anybody that has hit silver or above in the last 12 months, in addition to people that went to leadership, they'll actually get it as a free gift from doTERRA for doTERRA's 15th anniversary, which is exciting. So before we dive into our last thing, I wanted to just set the stage a little bit. Laura, Londa, and Danny are all going to be sharing about something called 75 Grow, which we're really excited to invite you all in to participate with us. But I just wanted to start by talking about a little bit of mindset. And I just think this is so good. And it also, it like, I don't know, it's just really relatable. I think all of us, to me, the hardest part about doTERRA is often my own mind games. Anybody else relate with me? I'm like, it's like my own mindset stuff, and it might be related to sales, or sometimes it's more related to just me and how I'm showing up in my life. And so I love this. So this image obviously says, shame whispers, you'll never be good enough. Just quit now. Who's been like in a spot where you felt that? Like, I will say I have. I'm like in the process of moving to London and all the overwhelm of everything that's come along with it. I have felt really frustrated with myself and like I can't get enough done. And there's always this looming to-do list and then on top of it, all the cultural pieces. Anyways, there's so much. And then I feel reminded of how I am not where I want to be as a leader. I'm being really vulnerable, not for the sake of you guys all patting me on the back, just trying to share real thoughts, you know? But yeah, you'll never be good enough, just quit now. Whereas we can instead choose to approach ourselves from a place of, I may not be good at this today, but I'm worthy of trying. Because like what Danny said, God has given us all gifts that are worth bringing to the world. And we're all like feeling a desire to impact the world in this way. And so today I might not have been good at it, but I'm worthy of trying. And this one says, what is wrong with me? Why do I keep doing this? Why can't I get my stuff together? Like I will say before, so a year ago now is when I started committing to lifting regularly and showing up for myself in that way, because I do really value physical fitness. I've been an athlete my whole life. And I remember being in this place where I'm like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not working out? You just like, I have time to do it. Like, why am I not just doing it? And like, we've all, again, been in this spot. Maybe it's with doTERRA. Maybe it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I just like get my doTERRA work done? Like, why am I not prioritizing making times to connect with my customers or blah, 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 like whatever it is. But instead we could say, I wonder why I chose this thing, scrolling Instagram, I don't know, whatever it is, instead of keeping my promises to myself and going to the gym or like checking in my doTERRA customers, inviting to oil camp, whatever it is. What might I be protecting myself from? What smaller habits might I need to implement first? And what would make this important to me? So there enters something called 75 Grow. Take it away, ladies.
So Londa and Danny and I were sitting together at leadership, and this came up and it kind of blew all of our minds, because at the beginning of leadership, there was a discussion that was had about motivation and believing in yourself, kind of all the things Kristen was just talking about. And it was, I can't find it on my phone right now. I was going to find it. But basically a cycle that had the three things. And it said that motivation fuels belief, belief fuels action, action fuels motivation. So if you're not in constant action, you're not going to have that motivation to keep going. Then you're not going to have the belief in yourself, because those are all cyclical. So taking these little tiny steps really helps us to grow, because while they seem so unimportant or just so tiny, it's the consistency, showing up consistently and not being afraid to step into it every single day that will give you big results in the end. But it's that little bit of progress. So this says, do you know that 80% of results come from small, simple, boring things that you do? But it's committing to those things and then feeling like, oh, I did that. Check that off my list, and being proud of yourself. So our 75 Grow, we looked at each other as we were listening to this at the leadership convention, and we were like, you guys, like, we all should be doing this. Like, why are we not all doing this ourselves? And wouldn't it be amazing if we had people on our team come alongside us? While we were prepping for this call, over and over and over again, Kristen and Andy kept saying, like, well, I mean, it's just going to be like 10 of us. And I'm like, guys, we got to think bigger here. Like, it's not going to be 10 of us. We all need to be doing this. How many leaders are there on the LDC? We all need to be in action, because these little actions make huge differences. So what this is committing to, if you've ever heard about 75 Hard, Tyler joked that this should be called 75 Easy, because it's just committing to small, consistent actions. But we decided to call it 75 Grow, because for 75 days, we are going to commit to reading 5 pages of self-development book, not an audiobook, text an accountability group, and all you have to text is one of these things, or you can text all 4, but a celebration, a struggle, a daily goal, or like what you did for movement for your body. Number 3 is connect with a team member or non-team member that might move your business forward. So we're talking text somebody, tell them about the Refer a Friend program, tell them about MetaPower and how it's impacting you or how it's impacting one of your customers. Maybe tell them about the business, invite them into it, step in. But you're doing one text to move your business forward today, that day. And then number 4, you're going to actually write a note of write down a piece of gratitude, or pray for someone that day. And then I think this one goes alongside with number 5 is send one snail mail card each day. So you're going to actually physically send out a little note to somebody, and in the mail, good old fashioned snail mail, let them know that you were thinking about them. I recommend this being something with no agenda. You're just letting them know. I have a friend who, she the other day got a text message from another friend. And the text message just said, hey, I was praying for you. I can't imagine being in your situation. I think it's really something to be proud of on how well you're doing and what you are accomplishing. And I just wanted you to know that we see you and we're praying for you. And she was like blown away by this. How often do we actually tell our friends that we're praying for them or we're thinking of them? And so sending the snail mail card out can be such a game changer for your relationships. And we all know that our relationships really fuel our health, which is kind of mind-blowing, but it does. So those are the 5 things that we have to do. We're just going to try to do this for 75 days, incorporating daily reminders into our calendar, using our notes app to check in. And the biggest thing is with 75 hard, if you fail, you start back at day 1. So when you're committing to this, you are committing because you know that if you skip a day, you are going back, man, to day 1. So it's really, really powerful on the strides you can make and the daily habits that you can put in during this time. So, Danny, do you want to take it away?
Sure. What's next? Okay, so just some FAQs, but before that, if you are already feeling the tug to join us, you can scan this QR code at the top left, and we want you all to register because it's going to be an extra layer of just commitment to yourself that you're going to join us and do this. And there's some extra questions within that registration form. It's just a Google form. Things like, what are you going to reward yourself with when you're done with the 75 days? And just other things to get you thinking. And so we have your information on our end. Some other questions that might come up for you is, which book do I read? So we have a whole list of books. And okay, so Kristen has this whole Google Drive that we will share with you. Maybe we can share that in the chat or send it out after. And it goes over different questions you might have. This is the registration link. She'll add it in the chat right now. And then
The
in
QR
that
code isn't working right now. I don't know
say
why.
it again.
The QR code isn't up
Oh,
there. It's not working
Oh.
right now. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna share the link to register.
Yeah. We'll put it in the chat, and then of course, just text anyone that was on this call and we can give you the rest of the information. We'll put it in the Voxer group too. So she has this Google Drive, but there's a book list, there's a tracker, which Lana will talk a little bit more about. But if you have like questions on just ideas that you need to get started, we have most of those things in here already. And so then with the Audible, if you're used to listening to Audible, you can't listen to Audible for this. Maybe you can have the print copy and you can have Audible and read 5 pages of the print and then listen to the rest of the Audible throughout the day, or if that's just how you like to get stuff done throughout the day. Who do I write a card to? It can be anyone. So with all of the things Laura just went over, remember that we want this to be a fun, growing experience for you. So if there's something that doesn't feel like in great alignment with you, you can change it, but you'll just let your accountability group know what you're tweaking out of those 5 things. But it will be most fun and most beneficial if we're all doing the same things together, right? So with the card for myself, again, Londa will go over the tracking situation, but I'm going to print out a list of my customers from my back office, from the detailed genealogy. And I'm just going to go ahead and have a pre-made list of my customers with their addresses. And then if you have like a Christmas card list or any other kind of lists, your wedding list, I mean, it can be anything, just so you have those pre-made copies of names and addresses where you can just sit down and write something quickly if you don't have a friend or a family member, someone in mind that you want to write the card to. So that's what I'm going to do, because I'm always going to fall back on my customer list because I really want to connect back with my customers. So that's going to be a top priority for me. What should I text my accountability group? We'll go over this a little bit more, but depending on how many people actually join, we might do a big accountability group or small accountability groups of 3 people. And so you'll just text in that accountability group every day. That number 2 question is a celebration, movement, and then there's 2 other options, but you'll just text into your accountability group one of those things every day, and then use the accountability group as just connection and a place that you can be cheered on, whether it's in your doTERRA business or in your life. Do we do this on Sundays or on the weekends? Yes, it's a full 75 days. So if you've ever done like Elise Chedevy's stuff, that's just during the weekdays, but this 75 Grow is going to be for an entire 75 days. So it's a challenge, but it's going to make us all grow and make us be consistent daily. Can I Facebook message someone instead of texting? I would say yes. I haven't looked over all the FAQs, but are you guys good with yes? You could Facebook message someone? Yeah, I think that's great. So it just communicate with someone, that whether that's text messaging, DM, Facebook, whatever, just have a communication with someone to grow your business each day. What if you miss a day? You have to start over at day 1 and you have to tell your accountability group. And there's no shunning of that, but it's just that you have to start over because this is what we're committing to. Do you have some example scripts for contacting? I think that is in the Google Drive under the FAQ. This whole concept was presented, like Laura said, at leadership. So they had scripts and things ready to go for teams that wanted to take this to their greater teams. So we're super excited. And we were just all sitting there like, yeah, we're not doing anything. And if there's anyone on our team that's not doing anything, just this, like these simple tasks each day, think about where we're going to be in 75 days just by doing these 5 things, even if it's just personal growth. Like that's a huge win for 75 days, where you'll be. So we're super excited. Oh, am I still going?
I think yeah.
It's me.
Okay, go
Right?
for it.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. So for plans to succeed, Danny kind of touched on it already, but I think like the most important thing that you can be doing is make your lists of your 75 people right off the bat. Your chances of success will go up if you have all of that planned ahead of time. Get their addresses as much as you can. Also picking your book that you're going to read, whether you have it already, maybe it's a book you are going to reread, or if you're going to buy one, you do have enough time to buy one and get it ordered. Getting your cards and your stamps. This is going to help you be able to complete the program successfully. And then something that I am specifically doing when it comes to like preparing for connecting with customers or business related, that list is I'm going to be creating some videos to send out to those customers. So one of them is all about the MetaPower system, making sure that customers know the basis of that and what that's all about. Another one that I'm doing is like an LRP overview, or like a mini like membership overview type of video explaining the 2 different ways to order and why LRP is best. And then I'm also going to make one on my favorite swaps, like my top 10 favorite doTERRA swaps that are non-toxic. And then I was also reminded of the refer a friend video today, just when Kristen shared that. That would be another great one. So as I look through my 75 list, like those are topics that my customers need to hear about. And maybe as I work my way through the list, I might not send one of those out on one of my connection days and I'll send a different message or something like that. But that's something that I'm going to do. And you don't have to create those videos. For me personally, those types of things have been on my list to do for a while. I've been wanting to make like an LRP video, a video on MetaPower, just one that has like my face on it. We all know that doTERRA has tons of resources pre-made for us, but I've been wanting to make one for me and my customers, something that I have created. And then accountability group. I can't remember if we specifically decided how we're creating the groups. I think that they'll be created for you once we have an idea of how many people will be joining.
Exactly. We'll message
Okay.
out everybody. I think on Sunday would probably be the last day that you can sign up, and then we'll message everybody by Sunday evening so you know which group you're in, because then it will start Monday. But then everybody will like pair you together with your accountability group, and that way you'll have each other's numbers. So yeah, thanks, Londa.
Okay. Perfect. And then we have a tracking tool that'll be on the next slide. So it might be a little bit hard for you to see. I'm on my phone, so I can't totally read the whole thing, but I am a list maker and very like disciplined, and like consistency is like my love language, my thing. And so this tracking sheet, I think, is amazing, just to be able to write everything out day by day. And as we go through those 75 days, you can check off everything that you have done and feel good about yourself, feel good about what you have accomplished. And so I highly encourage you to utilize that tracking sheet throughout the program as well.
Sorry, guys, the QR codes, neither one of them apparently updated. So I'm sharing the link for the Google Drive. All of this stuff is in our LDC Google Drive, and I'm gonna, yeah. There's a subcategory that's called 75 Grow, and you can dive into there where all these things are. I'm like trying to, goodness, okay. We'll just stop screen sharing. There we go. There's the,
Okay, one more thing.
yes, please do.
I was just gonna say, remember that this is not for anyone else. This is not for your upline. This is not for your team. This is just for you. And again, it's like personal growth and business growth once the 75 days are over. But if you feel like you haven't been doing anything, this is gonna help move the needle forward, and it's for you. That's why there's not any like specific giveaways or rewards or anything at the end. You make the reward for yourself. So
I actually had something funny I forgot to add to the PowerPoint that goes right along with what Danny said. I just liked this little GIF. I feel like this was like an appreciation to Laura too, because she's like the queen of gifts. But yeah, I just think an immense amount of confidence comes for me when I just follow through with the things that I want to be doing, instead of like scrolling and watching other people rocket their lives and killing it. Like when I'm like showing up and being the person that I want to do and creating impact in people's lives, I feel so good about myself. Anybody else? I think it'll be fun to hear in the Google form for your guys' registration. One of the questions that we ask is, what is the prize you're going to give yourself when you complete your 75 hard, your 75 grow? And I can't wait to hear what you guys decide to do, because
my idea.
Tyler has his idea. He's probably going to want like a silence and solitude retreat